Have you ever wondered what waits for the souls that are not chosen by gods or honored in song, not the warriors who fall in battle, not the heroes sung by skalds, but the forgotten, the ordinary, the unloved? Where do they go? They are led into a land of mist, a place beyond warmth, beyond memory. It is not fire that burns here, but silence that freezes. And at the heart of this realm stands a queen, silent, solemn, and ancient. Her name is Hel. Born of Loki, sister to the world's serpent and the wolf of chaos, she was cast out by the gods before she could even speak. They feared her appearance. Half alive, half dead. One side of her face glows with the bloom of youth, the other withered pale, as if death kissed her at birth. She did not ask for a throne, she was given one, at the edge of the cosmos. Hel rules over Helheim, the cold land of the unchosen dead. But this is not a place of fire or brimstone. It is a realm of stillness where memories go to fade and the sun never rises. And yet there is wisdom in the silence, power in the forgotten. Who is Hel, really? A monster banished by the gods, or a necessary balance in the grand cycle of life and death? To understand her is to understand what we all fear most, not dying in pain, but dying and being forgotten. Let us walk through the mist. Let us meet the Queen of the Dead. Before she was Queen of the Dead, she was simply a child of chaos. Hel was born to Loki, the shapeshifter, the trickster, the god who walked between worlds. But her mother was not a goddess of light or love. She was Angerboda, a giantess from the shadowed forests of Jotunheim. Together they bore 3 children, and none of them would know peace. The first was a serpent destined to encircle the world. The second, a wolf who would devour the sun. And the third was Hel. She did not cry when she entered the world. Instead, a strange stillness fell over the room. Half of her was alive, blooming with youth and warmth. The other half was cold, dark, and lifeless, as if death had already laid claim to her. The gods were disturbed. Odin, Allfather of the Aesir, looked upon the children of Loki and saw disaster. He feared what they might become, so he made a decision, one that would shape the fate of all 9 realms. The serpent was cast into the ocean's depths. The wolf was bound in chains forged by dwarves and lies. And Hel, she was sent downward, not to die, but to rule. Odin gave her dominion over the realm of the dead. Not Valhalla, not the halls of glory, but the place where souls without songs are laid to rest. No child chooses exile. No daughter dreams of ruling the cold. But Hel did not protest. She descended into the shadows and waited. Far below the branches of Yggdrasil, beneath even the roots that touch the well of fate, lies a land no songs celebrate, Helheim. It is not a place of fire nor torment. There are no screams, no chains, no devils waiting with pitchforks. Instead, there is mist, endless, quiet mist, a pale fog that blankets every stone, every memory, every soul. This is where Hel reigns, not by conquest, not by war, but by silence. Helheim is the destination of those who die ordinary deaths, the old, the sick, the lost, those who perish without glory. They do not feast with Odin. They do not ride with Valkyries. They vanish here. The land reflects its queen, half beautiful, half cursed. Its rivers do not rush, they crawl. Its skies are not black nor bright, but a colorless haze. Trees grow without leaves. Walls are carved from ice and bone. But it is not a place of cruelty. It is a place of stillness, a final pause. Hel walks these paths without a crown, without a scepter. She does not scream nor rule with fire. She simply watches, tends to the dead as one might tend to fading embers in a dying hearth. The souls here feel no pain, but neither do they feel joy. They drift. They forget. And in that forgetting, they find something stranger than peace. Oblivion. This is the land of the unchosen, not evil, not cursed, simply left behind. And Hel, daughter of Loki, watches over them all. Here is part 3, the face of duality, life and death in one, continuing in the same mythopoetic, ASMR-friendly style. Part 3, the face of duality, life and death in one. To gaze upon Hel is to confront a truth most of us try to forget. She is not monstrous because she is evil. She is monstrous because she is honest. One side of her body, radiant, smooth, alive, the cheek of a young maiden, eyes sharp with intelligence, a face you might trust, even love. The other side, ashen, sunken, skeletal, the skin pulled tight against bone, a hollow socket where an eye once watched. The smell of winter and decay clings to it. She is both, at once, unhidden, unashamed. The gods recoiled, mortals whispered. For Hel revealed something no one wanted to see, that beauty and death are not opposites. They are twins, partners, each walking alongside us every day, whether we choose to notice or not. She is not a goddess of cruelty. She does not punish. She does not tempt. She simply is. Hel embodies what we try to separate: life and death, love and loss, memory and forgetting. Some say her duality is a curse, others say it is a mirror. In her we see not just the end of the body, but the truth of the soul, that what fades was once beautiful, and what is beautiful will one day fade. She does not smile, she does not weep. Hel waits quietly at the threshold, one hand extended warm and soft, the other bone and cold. Which will you take? There are no songs for the ones who die quietly. No horns sound when an old woman slips away in her sleep. No poets write of the farmer crushed by stone or the child taken by winter's breath. These are not the deaths of heroes, but they are the deaths of most, and Hel gathers them, not with violence, not with judgment, but with a strange, solemn grace. She is their queen, not crowned by power, but by presence. She walks among them unseen, yet always near. Where memory fades, she remains. Where names are lost, she remembers. In Helheim, the forgotten find a strange kind of home. They do not speak, but their stories linger in the air like mist, and Hel listens. She knows every sorrow buried too deep to grieve, every fear left unspoken, every goodbye that was never said. To the gods, Hel was always an outcast, too strange, too unsettling. But to the dead, she is the last embrace, the only one who does not turn away. They do not worship her, they do not kneel, but in the stillness of that realm, they know she is there. And in her silence, there is something that even the great gods struggle to offer: mercy. Not all thrones are gilded, not all queens demand loyalty. Some rule by simply being the one who stays when everyone else has turned away. That is Hel, the queen of those no one else came for. The gods tried to bury her in silence. They sent her to the lowest world, far from the sun, far from memory. They gave her no temple, no feast day, no hymns. But the future remembers what the present forgets. When Ragnarok comes, the twilight of gods, it is not just fire and fury that rise. It is Hel. From the depths of her mist-shrouded realm, she will send forth her legions. Not warriors, not beasts, but the dead. The forgotten will walk again. Those without songs will become the thunder underfoot, led not by wrath, but by inevitability. Hel does not rage, she does not scream, she opens the gates. Ships made from the nails of the dead will sail, the world's serpent will rise, the wolf will break free, and behind them, in the quiet of the storm, comes the queen who never asked to rule. The gods saw her as a threat, not because she desired power, but because she reminded them of their end. Even immortals fear death, and Hel is death's mirror. In Ragnarok, her silence becomes thunder, her stillness, movement, her realm, a rising tide. But even then, she does not seek vengeance. She does not strike the first blow. She simply fulfills the role the gods gave her long ago. They sent her to the end of the world. And so it is fitting she returns at the end of all things. It's easy to fear what we don't understand, and Hel has always been a figure cloaked in misunderstanding. The gods called her unnatural. Mortals whispered that she was cruel. Tales painted her as cold, emotionless, even wicked. But was she? She did not choose her form. She did not choose her fate. She was born half living, half dead, not as a punishment, but as a truth. She is not evil, she is honest. Hell has no throne of gold, no temple carved in her name. She does not demand sacrifice. She does not hunger for worship. What kind of villain rules in silence, watches in stillness, and welcomes the forgotten? Perhaps the real fear lies not in what she does, but in what she represents. Hell reminds us that death is not always violent, that it can be quiet, lonely, forgotten. She is the keeper of those who passed without glory, the listener of stories no one else remembered to hear. And that makes her dangerous, not because she seeks destruction, but because she offers a kind of truth the gods could not control, a mirror that shows them what even they cannot outrun. In another world, could she have been honored? Could she have been seen not as a monster, but as a guardian? We may never know, but perhaps as we look beyond the myth, past the fear, and into the mist, we see her not with dread, but with understanding. Hell is not cruel. She simply keeps what no one else will. In the end, all stories quiet. The swords fall silent. The laughter fades. Even the brightest names in legend grow dim with time. And when the songs stop, when the light goes out, we find ourselves at a door. It is cold there, still, covered in mist. And she is waiting, not with chains, not with flames, but with open arms. Hell is not the end. She is the one who receives the end. She does not chase or punish or pull. She simply waits, patient, eternal, constant. We all walk different paths. Some rise in glory, some fall in sorrow, some vanish, unnoticed, but every path, no matter how winding, bends toward her gates. And when we arrive alone and forgotten by the world above, she does not ask for names, she does not weigh your worth, she does not judge, she remembers. And that, in the end, may be the truest kind of mercy. So fear her if you must, but do not forget her. For one day, when all lights dim and even memory begins to fade, it will be her shadow you meet, not as an enemy, but as the last witness to who you were. The Queen of the Dead does not seek your worship, only your return.